a multifaceted talent. What came first for you, music or acting?
I guess music. I started out when, I mean, we're always acting, come on. But I started music at like a pretty young age there. My mom always put my whole family into lessons. My parents would bring us like shows and stuff. I mean, I started off like, pretty basic, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so music, let's say music.
Yeah, in Julie and the Phantoms, your character is about to get his big break before he eats something that he shouldn't. For you, when did you get your big break? What was your big break?
Um, Julie and the Phantoms, just like the show, man. Well, look, I think your career is built up with a number of big breaks and little ones and these times in your life because I don't think it's just for what the public sees. I think a lot of the biggest breaks comes from like what you're learning throughout your life. And I learned a lot on Julie and the Phantoms, and I mean, it made me very visible, but at the same time, I wouldn't be here today for all the auditions that I lost and all like the training that I would have done in the past, So it's like, I think, and I wouldn't call it a break either, but you know what I mean, right? Like, it feels like a lot of things in my life have kind of come together and things kind of work for certain ways. And so I'm always blessed about just the journey rather than just like specific little moments.
Love that. This is the first time that you're leading a cast. Did you feel any pressure heading into this project, and what's been the biggest takeaway for you thus far?
Um, well, you know what? We're four people. I never really like. There's no. You say like me leading the cast, but at this I like there's none of us. There's none of us without everybody else. The entire series, we bonded, and the reason why the things land the way they do is because of like the chemistry that we have with each other. There's no way that one of us could have done this by ourselves, because the story involves like these four amazing people and these extra people that come around it as well, So, but what was the rest of the question?
Did you just feel any pressure, and what was the biggest takeaway from this project?
Um, Pressure. Well, there was a lot of pressure. I got a little nervous at the start, especially. So we received the songs, and I kind of jammed out to them a little too much beforehand, and I had never had no like vocal training, and so I like blew out my voice to the point where like we had doctors involved, and then I also had to like be on voice rest for like 2 weeks right at the start. I'm not allowed to say a word. I had like these notepads that I was writing in. And there was a lot of pressure there because, I mean, finally I booked something that, I got to sing, I got to dance, I got to act, I got to have a little bit of magic fun, and so there was a lot of pressure, but it was all in my head, because the second that I arrived on set, there was no replacements. There was no like saying Kenny and Netflix. There was no way that they're like, no, like we're making this work. We're gonna get everything that we can do. We're gonna train your voice back to it. And it was just the best introduction to what we were about to film, because it was like that the whole show. If there ever was any pressure, at least the environment that you were doing it in was so relaxed and so enjoyable that it never get too stressful.
Yeah. Julie and the Phantoms has become the breakout hit of 2020. When you guys were filming, did you feel that you were creating something special?
Well, we definitely came together as more than just coworkers throughout filming, and we continue to be like really great friends even through the separation that we all have. And so I gotta say, like, I really found like a really cool part of my new like a new little family for me doing it. And I've had a lot of friends in the past, but getting to do this with these people and all of this stuff together, it's like it's felt nothing but special every time we interact, every time we get to do a scene or get on stage. And So yeah, it's always felt really good, man. It's always felt really nice just to do this together.
Like you were saying earlier, you can tell that there's this really nice chemistry and friendship between all four of you. What's one surprising fact about Madison, Jeremy, and Owen that fans would be surprised to learn?
All right. A surprising fact about Jeremy, Madison, Owen. I mean, I lived with Owen. I have a lot of surprising facts that I can't share. But I don't know if everybody, because we talk about this a lot, but Owen is like one of like the biggest theater geeks that I've ever met. He is so funny, but he'll quote any show. And you know, he's barely seen shows on Broadway. He's only seen a few, but he would like watch them online and he'd sing them and read the scripts. And so Owen, I gotta say, is like one of the biggest theater guys that I've ever met. Jeremy has such a big heart. I mean, you see it in his character Reggie. So you know, maybe everyone know that. That's not a surprise. What else? Jeremy actually had a band very similar to Sunset Curve right before the show with like his brothers and some friends. Make Out Monday. Let me confirm that was in there. Because I might, there's Make Out Monday, but I might be quoting the song. Yeah, Make Out Monday. Wait, is it Make Out Monday? Kissophobic. Yeah, Kissophobic's a jam. So that was kind of cool. So Jeremy had a lot of like this like kind of punk rock energy before starting the show, which was really fun. And he played bass for that, which was pretty interesting. And something surprising about Madison. You know, it's so hard because she continues to surprise me all the time. You know, she's this little girl thrown into such a big world. And you know, like I've been doing it for a few years and I'm still not like I'm still not able, like I'm not used to what's happening right now with the fans. And she blows me away how well she takes it. And she like, even on set, she was so well prepared. And I really thought that was cool because, you know, some people aren't. Some people might just think like, oh, like, you know, I'm done the job once I book the role. But, you know, she really understood that no, the job is just like starting. And so she surprises me every single time we do a scene because I'm always like, how in God's name is this your first time? You know?
Fans have really taken to the show and they've created their own ships. Which of Luke's relationships was your favorite to explore in season 1 and why?
Which of Luke's? You're talking about Rook and Juke. Yeah. It's fun, but I mean, I love Juke so much. I think I think they're bond. I think what they've gone through in their life and what they're about to go through, hopefully in the future. It's like, you know, if there were people that were perfect for each other, it's these two people right here. Not just because of the pain, the similarities and the pain that they've gone through, but I think it's more about the passion that they feel for the things that they love and the things that they love doing. Like, you know, preparing for the role and even talking with Madison, and we talk about things that like, what's Luke and Julie doing when the boys aren't around or when it's just them, or what are they hanging out? And you know, a lot of it's writing, but a lot of it also is like them hanging out and so we got to grow that as well because we got to hang out, we got to do stuff. But I gotta say, I'm sorry for you Rook shippers out there, but I'm Team Juke.
There's this really incredibly powerful scene between Luke and his mother. What was your initial reaction when you read that scene, and how did you prepare?
So how did I prepare and what was it like reading the first time? Well, the first time actually, well, I got the script beforehand, so I got to read a little bit and I got to understand like what was kind of happening. But actually, the first time that, because I had unsaid Emily, I didn't know what it was about yet. I didn't have that script before. And so I read the script and I understood, but I didn't understand what unsaid Emily, like I didn't understand what they meant by like the lyrics of the song yet. And then when we sat down and did the whole tape read, then the lyrics hit. It's like I understood exactly what they were going through. I understood why he left and why she didn't want him to leave, and everything hit like a truck. And you should have seen the tape read, man. People were like the Kleenex is like Kathy and Tia were like our ADs in LA when we were doing that, and they went and put like a bunch of Kleenex boxes there, tissue, because I think Dan or Dave, one of our our creators and writers there, they were like, you guys might want to do this, and everyone was like bawling, and it's just because like, I mean, it was a big scene, but everyone had received the script, but it was so weird. It was the first time that we got to like feel it all together, like the way you would feel like when you're watching it. That's the way it feels like when we do table reads. We're trying to create this world in each of our minds, and somehow we're able to kind of like be on the same frequency while we do it. And to prepare, everybody fights with their parents. Everybody's said some things that they probably shouldn't have when they were growing up. I try to like keep away like my past with like my character's past, just because you don't want to like mix those two. It's a weird combination. But but a relationship between a son and a mom is pretty universal throughout everybody's life, no matter how good or how bad it might have been. And so losing somebody like your mom is I don't think is easy for anybody on the planet. Your mom's a nurturer. Your mom's the person who like who's there to help build you up in life, and who's there to like teach you what's right and wrong. The dad as well, but I always found moms were always the ones that are supposed to have like the biggest hearts, and so there's like a connection there, right? And then I just started running on that, and then I mean there's a little bit like you I don't know, you ever heard of Stella Adler before?
I have not.
Stella Adler is like one of the most like legendary method acting teachers that's ever existed. There's a few different methods, but Stella Adler is like one of the most renowned ones. And I was studying in her class down in Hollywood like last year. I didn't finish the whole thing, but they gave me a lot of foundation work on how to create these little stories and how to try to make them the most realistic way for you, and how to be able to live them when you're in the scene. So I found that really helped build it up, actually.
Okay. There are a lot of really important themes that the show gets across in the first season. Was there one in particular that resonated with you?
My favorite theme is finding family through your friends throughout the entire story, because not everybody's blessed with the best family, but what you try to do and what you try to find in your friends is all up to you. It's like people stick around when you're friends because you have a bond together, you have a connection, but you have a connection that you work towards. And it's not always easy, like you see in the show. Like they mess up, they say some things that they shouldn't say once in a while, but eventually they come back together because they realize what they have together is worth fighting for, right? And I think I gotta say that is my favorite message from the show.
There's a lot of different directions that the show can go into if it's picked up for a second season. Where would you like to see Luke's storyline head?
Well, we have his background now, which is really fun. But there's a lot of stuff, like there's the Bobby stuff that we want to deal with because he ripped us off. But I really hope Luke tries to find Julie's mom. I hope she's able to come back and say something to her. That she's not able to right now, but we can understand that she's the one sending all these messages, right? So I want to learn a little more of this world that we live in and why things work the way it does to be able to get to there,
Great answer. And then we just like to end all of our interviews with a pop culture speed round. Do you have a guilty pleasure TV show?
Friends.
Guilty pleasure movie?
Big Daddy. Or Seven. Or Big. from Tom Hanks. Sorry.
What about a favorite book?
Boys on the Boat.
Favorite play or musical?
I play Wicked.
Is there a band or artist that fans would be surprised to learn is on your playlist?
Surprised? There's this guy, actually, I've been loving his music. He's this artist from France. His name is Audin. A-U, capital A-U, capital D-E-N. And like, if you have a chance to check him out, blows me away.
And then final question for you. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Usually it's You're the One That I Want.